I promised to do videos, so here it is. I've really been a mess lately, and I apologize for that. Again, my first priority has really been Riley. Believe me, I'm watching the things that are going on. And again, as I said, while my first priority has been Riley, I've really been watching the things that are going on. For example, I saw that 150 Hamas operatives surrendered today, and there was also a ceasefire. So hopefully this ceasefire on Shabbat will give everyone time to, for lack of a better term, just chill out. And if you go to the Yeshuat Yisrael website for the Messianic congregation, it talks about how there's going to be a peace treaty with the Arabs, including, of course, the so-called Palestinians. So what it talks about in terms of the end times is, and I'm going to, let's see, talk about, well, I could just be lazy and do the link for it, so I guess I will. So you go to yeshuatyisrael.com and then end 1. So talk about the end times, n1.htm, and it talks about, and okay, so it talks about the past, so the things that have already happened, and it talks about how you quickly learn, and as someone pointed out to me a long time ago, that 7 women will grab 1 man and say in that day, that refers to the 7 church ages. And so then, okay, Jerusalem is under Jewish control, which is supposed to happen. Okay, so right now, Yerushalayim is ours, and of course the so-called Palestinians want to try to divide everything. Okay, so the future events. A peace treaty with the Arab states will lead into non-Arab conflict involving an invasion of Israel. We're already seeing that. So we're getting close to the peace treaty. So Rosh, Russia, Kush, Ethiopia, Meshech, Moscow. So you can just pretty much group that in with Russia. But to be fair, Moscow was a separate kingdom at one time. Libya, Put, Tubal, Tubalsk, Siberia. I can definitely see that because, again, the whole shtick with Putin. And there are rumors that Putin is Jewish, by the way, but if that were true, then Putin would be a self-hater. But, of course, we've seen plenty of self-haters lately. Gomer is Germany. And you can see that anti-Semitism is resurging in Germany. Persia is Iran. And then Togarma is Armenia and Turkey. And, I'll just say, in terms of Kush, I think I've said in the past why I'm pretty convinced that Kush is Ethiopia. I'll just leave it there right now. And then Togarma, Armenia, and Turkey, I am definitely, I can definitely say that Togarma definitely includes Armenia, and I'll explain why later if I haven't already. And then, of course, talk about the one world government. That will be a long discussion, but I believe that, again, yeah, it's going to be a long discussion. And then, of course, you have the rise of the Antichrist or the Anti-Messiah. Apparently, 2 of us in this world have an idea of who that might be. I'll explain that later. There's going to be a period of peace and false security for 3.5 years. And what Yeshuat Yisrael does is they say blackout is going to be event 6 to 8. Return of Eliyahu Hanavi, the forerunner of the Messiah. And then the 3rd temple will be restored, and sacrifices will be reinstituted at the Temple Mount. Now, I haven't done enough study on this, but I would think that it should actually be that the blackout would come first, and then the rise of the Antichrist or the Anti-Messiah. Well, of course, okay, so the blackout, the whole, for lack of a better term, shtick with Russia and Persia and the rest of that whole, whatever you want to call it. And then, let's see, so we got the thing going on with the blackout, and then, of course, the one world government. And that's a whole nother discussion. And, okay, so the period of peaceful security, of course, that'll have to do with the fact that the anti-Messiah does apparently bring a false peace. And then, of course, well, the third temple would have to be restored before the anti-Messiah appears on the scene, unless he's the one who's going to be encouraging the rebuilding of the temple. But then it says, he is the one world leader who takes over the Jewish temple and claims himself as God. And it says that he's of Roman origin, but again, let me just say that I don't think that to our credit, whether or not we're Messianic, I don't think that to our credit we'd be following a Gentile Messiah. And that's one of the objections that I've heard about Jesus. Well, he's a good Jewish boy gone Gentile. Some people even believe that Jesus was Gentile. But anyway, so, yeah, unfortunately, the Antichrist is going to be Jewish. And that's sad. And, so, of course, you have the period of peace, and, okay, so then you have the temple, and then, of course, there's another thing that I want to mention about that. By the way, if you want to put this, if you want to ask questions about what I'm talking about, feel free to put it in the comments section. Granted, all the comments are approved, especially because I've had totally inappropriate comments in the past. So yeah, anyway, okay, so then the third temple, they say blackout return of Eliyahu, and then third temple will be restored. But of course, they say the order of these events are not confirmed until the events work their way out in the future. Of course, I think that the blackout, given people worry about the electric grid, is going to happen at the same time as the war with Russia. And then, of course, the one world government will have to do with, either it'll continue to be the UN and whatnot, or it'll be one world government from Israel. Perhaps the civil government, as someone said, will be in Babylon, and spiritual government will be in Yerushalayim. I don't know how that's necessarily going to work, but I have a different take. Okay, so then of course you get the third temple, and then you get the sacrifices, so that should probably be after the whole peace treaty and the whole war happens. And then, okay, so then, let's see, third temple, and then, third temple, so the whole shtick with the Antichrist, and then, Eliyahu returns. So, the way I guess I would have to put it in the description if I wanted to say, like, okay, this should be probably moved to this should be moved to that, da-da-da-da-da. And, so, like I said, believe me, I've been watching these things. Oh, and incidentally, if you follow Twitter, I found out that I'm related to one of the greatest baseball players of all time, Mickey Haslin. My great-granddad Gaddis was a cousin of Mickey Haslin, and great-granddad Gaddis' mother, Catherine Nushinsky Gaddis, was a maternal sister of Mickey Haslinski's dad, who is George Haslinski. And great-great-grandma Gaddis and great-great-grand-uncle George shared a mother, Susanna Yashova. And, as I said, hopefully all their neshamot mean aliyah to Yeshua. By the way, I'm still learning Hebrew, and, for lack of a better term, just that whole shtick, or that whole Megillah, or whatever you want to call it. And anyways, so that's pretty much how, like I said, believe me, I've been watching these things, and, I'm still really looking to see things. And that reminds me, I'm going to double check on something, but I'm pretty sure that, I did see that the branch of the Haslinski is apparently converted, not the branch that great-great-grandma Gaddis' family was a part of or connected to, but then also, yeah. But the point is, we are Jewish. We did become a Nusim, and that whole shtick. But we're still Jewish. We remain Jewish. And the funny thing is, people say, well, you can't follow Jesus and be Jewish. Well, if you can't follow a Jewish man and be Jewish, then that there are if you can, let me put it this way: if you follow a Jewish man and you're not Jewish for following a Jewish man, then there's a lot of issues there. Anyway, take care. Shabbat shalom, and Laila tov.